And just to reiterate, I should have said this in the format area. How I'm going to be doing things as far as talking about stuff and rating it is going to be on like a recommendation basis. I don't want to put like a number on it because my main thing is I want to have discussions. I don't want to be too critical where I'm just like being annoying where I'm just like the shots look so amazing. Oh, the writing is so bad. I'll still say the writing is bad. But I'll look at from an entertainment point. The first thing we learn in this episode, and there's not much to it. It starts off with Ellie's mom giving birth to Ellie, and Ellie's mom gets bitten while pretty much while her water breaks and stuff, and she has to pretty much give birth. And then Marlene comes with the fireflies, and they go up there. She says, you need to take care of Ellie. Marlene's like, no. And then eventually, this was a good interaction between Marlene and Ellie's mom, which, by the way, her name, the actress is Ashley Johnson. She's the voice actor for Ellie in the video game. And between her and Troy Baker, who was in the last episode, I think Ashley Johnson is a way better actor. But Ashley Johnson, amazing actress. And she pretty much says to Marlene, hey, you need to take care of her and promise that she'll be happy and stuff. And then it fast forwards to Ellie and Joel. Now, we're on episode 9 of season 1. I should be so invested into these two characters where literally at the end I'm bawling my eyes out or I'm having some type of emotion. What's funny is I have more emotion in the arc episode than this episode, and totally should not be the case. Having a conversation, and Joel's like trying to get her attention, but she's being all quiet. And how that's written well, in my opinion, is that Joel and Ellie, well, Ellie, because of, being almost eaten by those cannibals and then getting her second kill, like brutally killing the dude where blood is splattering in her face. She has that going on in her head. And then you also got to think about what's going on in the head about where she's going because once she gets to the fireflies, her mission is over. She's not going to see Joel anymore, which she thinks that's what's going to happen. Whether it be, that's the last time, you know, she gets to see him, or somehow she dies and it's a way like disconnecting. And they get to it later, where to the point where she's talking about Riley and stuff and her past. And Joel talks about pretty much Ellie bringing back hope, I guess. And, but he has meaning in life again. Because before, after the being depressed about his daughter dying and stuff, he had no meaning of life. He was just living it, surviving it, and just going with the motion, hoping that he would die somehow. Because he talks about the whole, missing the shooter, that he somehow was distracted and talks about wanting to die after Sarah's death, but something kept him moving. And then obviously when he linked up with Ellie, you know, y- you got to look at it from how it was shot. Like to me and you, we see 9 episodes and we go, "That's it." Really, as a viewer, I can't see the bond that both Joe and Ellie had in this show. But if I had to like put my mind in the show itself, yeah, Joel and Ellie has been traveling for 3 plus months now. They know everything about each other, probably because they're always talking to each other. and they have a daughter father vibe together, and it's done through the dialogue. Now, what was really done well is another Marlene scene. I think steals the show a lot in this season. Like, if I had to choose three characters, which I am going to be doing like a tier list of each character and what they're ranked in my mind. But like, I'll give you a spoiler: Marlene is up there. I would say Joel was Pedro, but Pascal was fine. I mean, he's Pedro Pascal in mostly everything anyway. But I think he was done well as Joel because he's been in that other type of movie script where he's the father figure and he has a daughter figure. I forgot that one sci-fi movie that he was in. Someone in the comments probably knows. But that's why we do it live, everybody. Doing live. So we have another great scene with Marlene and Joel, and he figures out that he's not going to ever see Ellie again because the cordyceps grows from the brain, and in order to get the vaccine, they have to open her brain, and most likely the probability of her dying is high. And this is where my main thing as far as getting worried about the ending, because the ending is what when I finished the game, I was like, this is where it ends. This is the cliffhanger. Like, I want to know more. And that's why I wanted the TV show to have more of an openness. Now, good news that I'm hearing is that when it gets to season two, they want to do multiple seasons. It's not just doing the game. So I'm hoping because there's multiple seasons, we're going to get more of a story of the Fireflies and the world that we're living in this cordyceps world. He finds out that Ellie's going to die, and Marlene understands how Joel feels because of the beginning of this episode when she's talking to Ellie's mom and had to pretty much make the decision of killing her and then raising Ellie and promising to keep Ellie alive and live through this world. And essentially now she's putting Ellie to death. But in her mind, she thinks it's for a good reason. But if you look at from Ellie's mom, if she was still alive, she would probably be like, "You didn't keep my promise because you're killing my daughter." So you have that going on. Now, I do have constructive criticism when it comes to Joel shooting his way to get to Ellie, because yes, it happens in the game, but there's two different feels. In the video game, you're constantly either shooting your way or stealthing your way through a lot of people. In this one, it was like a single, like a couple of hallways, but it seemed more scrunched in. And there's a part where it does look like the actual hospital in the game, but in the beginning area, like it looks like there's like five people. In in the game, you're like 20 plus people because the Firefly soldiers are coming after you. Now they do write it well that most of her people died to get to this point, so you could look at it like, oh, she probably had a bigger group, and now it's like a skeleton crew. And I think that was written well in the TV show. But my main thing is the feel, because when I'm playing the game, I'm stealthing around. I still have that anxiety of being like, I need to get. I'm looking at it from Joel's point of view that I need to get the. Oh my god, I can't breathe. Oh, we got Moogie Mane. Moogie Mane finally saved enough. Oh wait, did you do something on Twitch? I'm on StreamYard. Let me bring up my thing real quick. It's a walking minute. All right. So if anybody that is watching the VOD for later on my Couch Entertainment's channel on YouTube, where we cover movies and TV shows. On my Twitch, I have a thing where if you redeem some points, I have to do a challenge. And one of the challenges, I got to talk like Mr. Walken here. And hello, welcome to Couch Entertainment's talking about The Last of Us, episode 9. And Joel going through the hospital is shooting these people, and in the game there's more soldiers and you have to stealth around the the soldiers, but in the TV show, Joel goes through the hallway shooting very fast, very slow and angrily, and he looks super angry, like crazy, like more cowbell. I gotta have more cowbell. But anyway, in the movie, in the TV show, it just seems different because I'm Christopher Walken and Joel. If I was Joel, I would not want to be all willy nilly going through the hallways and getting almost shot and killed, because if you would have got shot and killed, you would never see Ellie anymore. And I don't think you would like that because I shoved this watch straight up my ass. All right, I gotta stop that because I'm doing a VOD. But in the scene where he's going through the hallway, it just looked weird. I didn't have the feeling like I did in the video game because I was scared shitless in the video game because I didn't want to die. And and Joel is pretty much going Doom mode. Like he's like in Doom shooting people left and right. And I don't know. It didn't feel right. But he gets to the point where he gets Ellie, and it does just like the video game where Ellie wakes up. She's in the hospital gown and she's asking what happened. And Joel lies to Ellie, saying that they found another cure and they don't need her anymore. And while Joel was bringing Ellie out, Marlene was there with a gun and Joel shoots her, but she's not dead right away. So he puts Ellie in the car and then he goes back to her and she's all bleeding and shit. And he's like, she's like, "Don't kill me, let me go." And he's like, "No, you just follow her." And he pretty much shoots her to death. And I will give them credit. At the end of the episode, it did have the same sign off, and I'm fine on how it was shot and how it was screenplayed, pretty much how it was scripted in there. I think Bella Ramsey did a fine job here, and Pedro Pascal did a fine job as Joel, because the moral thing, as far as was Joel in the right of killing everybody in the hospital and stealing Ellie because he sees Ellie as a daughter and doesn't want to have that, pretty much losing another daughter. And he was selfish on his end of shooting everybody and then lying to her. And Marlene does bring up a point saying, "Hey, you know, if she had a choice in the matter, she would probably choose to kill herself so that she could save more people." But then you got to look at it other angles too. Like, would the vaccine even work? Would the vaccine somehow fail and then she dies for nothing. I mean, if you look at it from a science point of view, I guess you could be like, you tried and, trial and error. And that's how science is until they get it right. So, this new data that happens from Ellie's death could come up with the next vaccine to save humankind. But you also got to look at from Joel's point of view that where can you watch this at? Let me just put your message on the screen so that people in the VOD are not know I'm not talking to myself. But Moogie Man from Twitch says, "Where can I watch this at?" HBO Max. It is it's on the HBO Max subscription, but obviously, if you know any pirated streaming sites, which I'm not recommending, I'm just saying it's out there and you could watch it, but it's mainly from HBO Max. But from Joel's point of view, he's like, I if she dies, you don't know for a matter of fact if that vaccine's gonna work. So he's in a sense he's being selfish. Now you could question whether Joel should have lied or not lied to Ellie, and that I think is more of a moral question. So with the moral question of him lying to her, because what else could he lie about, right? And I feel with the possibility of him lying because of the surgery, I think is one lie that she could possibly see from his point of view. But the whole lying about everything, see, it's I just put myself in contradiction there because I'm like, the whole lying to her is bad, but he also had to lie because he was selfish because he had to kill everybody in the hospital. Like, that's the only thing I could think of that he could lie about, like, "Hey, I decided to take you out of there," but I would probably lie and say, "Yeah, I didn't shoot all these people." I'm gonna be doing a full season review because I'm gonna probably go through some of the episodes just so that I could give you my final thoughts on season 1, because for me, I don't think 9 episodes you can give this any justice. I think if you compacted this into a movie and written it well, where I'm following Joel and Ellie through a journey, then I would say yes. I felt everything about these characters, but I just have no feeling, no attachments, even though I played the video game. And I think that is a main problem for me is that I played the video game and I know what's going to happen next since they're sticking so close to the source material. But I will give people on the YouTubes in the comments section because I know you guys watch or at least watch my videos and then give me your point of view. So let me give you some questions as far as, did you think this season was great? That would be my first question to you guys. Another question is, would you write it if you had to choose one episode and just take it out of the season directly so that we're getting that Joel and Ellie experience more? I guess what episode would you take out? And I'll put another sub question to that if you don't want to take anything out. What would you do different in those episodes to include Joel and Ellie more so that we get more of that connection? And I think another final question is, what did you think about Pedro Pascal, who played Joel, and Bella Ramsey, who played Ellie? Do you think that they were perfect for this role to play Joel and Ellie? And I want to know your guys' comments on that in the comments section.